Hey guys, what's up? Today I got an OU match. This one is against Rathbone, and as you can see, he's got a D-axis speed. He said he hasn't battled since we actually battled last, and he wasn't aware of the tier change, or he forgot or something. Whatever. I really don't give a shit. So I'm going to lead with my Zoroark, because I figure he's going to lead with that, because he was A, in his lead spot, and B, it's a Deoxys speed. It's a nice thing to lead with. So I figure I'll disguise it as Empoleon. If he has Ice Beam or Psychic, he won't want to go for it. Well, if he has both, then he'll want to go for Psychic instead, but why would you have both? Um, so, yeah, and he'll most likely want to taunt to prevent my rocks, and or just set up screens. But I'm actually Zoroark, so I go for the Night Days, not Dark Pulse, and that's going to do a lot to the incoming Infernape. I'm going to switch out because I don't want him close combating me, so I'm going to go to my Salamence, but he's actually going to set up Stealth Rocks, and I'm like, okay, so then his lead Deoxys isn't hazards, it's most likely screens, because, he led with it in his party, and he actually led with it. So that's fine, but he's going to go for the Overheat here, I guess, knowing that even if I Dragon Dance with a little bit of damage, his Deoxys can still take me out. So I'm expecting him to have Ice Beam. Unfortunately, I A, Dragon Tail him right out to Deoxys, and B, his Infernape just barely lives, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to switch out to my Zoroark, thinking he'll want to set up a Reflect. But he just goes for the Ice Beam, and I see Life Orb, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's just a straight offensive one that he led with, which is a little odd. Unfortunately, also, I brought my non-Sucker Punch one, which would have been nice to have, because that would have done a lot of damage, because despite no attack investment, Zoroark's base attack is like, what, 105 or 110, something like that, and it's stab, and it's super effective, so I would have done a nice spot. But I go into my Empoleon, and then I'm going to double switch to my Salamence. That way he gets -2 attack on his superpower because of one, the Intimidate, and two, the actual superpower. Now I'm going to switch after protecting just to gain a little bit of extra leftovers, because I want the Salamence around, but he's not really going to be that useful against most of his team. The only thing really is like Gliscor if he has no speed investment, and potentially Rotom, but I'm not expecting it to be able to take a Hydro Pump because of Stealth Rocks, and definitely not like a Volt Switch, so which is almost actually, yeah, Volt Switch is just slightly stronger. It's like 105 versus 90 on 100 pump. But anyways, so I'm going to switch out to my Empoleon. Ice Beam's going to do really nothing. He's going to switch out because he's tired of wasting Life Orb hits and he can't really kill me. So I get up my rocks, but he switches into Infernape, which, barely escapes death once again. But I'm going to switch to my Reuniclus to take the fairly obvious close combat, and that's not really going to do a whole lot. I was hoping also maybe he would Stone Edge, predicting the Salamence switch in, but I don't know if he has it, considering his Life Orb with Overheat and Stealth Rock, so he might have like U-Turn, or possibly Fake Out, maybe a Hidden Power, I don't really know, Flare Blitz, whatever. He's going to go into his Salamence and start Dragon Dancing. I knew he'd probably do that because, I mean, that's what most Salamence do. So I'm going to hit off with a Psychic. Going to go into my Empoleon to resist the obvious Dragon move. Unfortunately, because he's, a Salamence with +1, yeah, I'm not going to take that very well. So that's fine, though, because Empoleon already got up Stealth Rocks, and there's really nothing I immediately need to wall. I mean, the only thing I can, per se, is his Rotom, but he has a Stab Electric attack, so that's going to sort of ruin my plans of doing that. But he's going to live, his Life Orb recoils at very low amount of HP, and he's going to get confused, but it doesn't matter because I'm Scarfed, so I'm going to go to Landorus. You turn out, because I don't want to be stuck in on any one move, because if I outspeed him, he obviously knows I'm Scarfed, and I don't want to be stuck in on like a Hidden Power or a Stone Edge possibly missing. Because, if I'm stuck in on Hidden Power, he can go to Rotom. If I'm stuck in on Stone Edge, he can go to Gliscor. And neither of those are really good things. So I'm going to go into my Salamence here, and he's going to go into his Deoxys. I'm going to protect, just maybe trying to see his extra moveset. Here I'm going to go for the Wish, just on the off chance that I happen to somehow leave the Ice Beam. But he goes for the Shadow Ball, predicting the switch to Reuniclus. And I really should have just went for Dragon Tail, because the Wish is not going to save me from Ice Beam, so it doesn't really matter. And if I had a Dragon Tail, I might not have killed him, probably not, but I think Stealth Rocks would have taken him out. But it doesn't really matter because I still have Lucario. So Salamence is really just here as a kind of, yeah, I don't really care. I could have also let him go on and not protected and then pass the Wish to like Reuniclus or something, but it wasn't really that big of a deal. So I'll go to Lucario. He knows extreme speed is fairly obvious, and I'm just going to go for it. I'm actually going to get a crit, which is a little unfortunate from my perspective, because if not for the crit, I wouldn't have stayed in and gone for the Ice Punch as he protects. I would have went to my Landorus, most likely, to get off a Hidden Power Ice that he wouldn't have been really expecting. But he is going to protect and then switch out on the continued Ice Punch. I also was not wanting to Swords Dance because I'm like, he might not want to protect or something. I just was really fearing that he had Earthquake and he was max speed, because then he'd outspeed me. Or not even necessarily max speed, just if he was jolly, because his base speed is actually higher than Lucario's in my adamant. But I go to Reuniclus, and he is going to try and Will-O-Wisp me, which is excellent. Although, what I didn't realize at the time, I just assumed he would be defensive, but he's actually max special attack modest, which is why this hurts so much. But because he is that sort of bulky set with just like enough speed to outspeed a few key counters like Tyranitar and Scizor, I can actually OHKO him with a close combat after rocks 100% of the time. And then, of course, after that Ice Punch too. So I could have literally just stayed in, outspeed him, hit him with a close combat, and he'd be dead. And I should have been able to sort of tell, I guess, from the damage. Not necessarily. He could have been specially defensive because he does have a defensive Gliscor. But all that's for naught because he does miss his Hydro Pump. Again, if he did hit it, I just go to Lucario, kill him with a close combat, does like 87.7 to 103. So most likely he would have died. Or just went into Landorus and hit him for some damage first with Stone Edge. He really has nothing to take a Stone Edge. Well, I mean, Mega Zone, sort of, but yeah. It helped that he missed, because now I don't have to make those plays, and I can just kind of destroy his team. He's going to hit me with a Shadow Ball here, but at +2, really not going to do a whole lot of damage, so he's just going to run. So, all in all, it was a cool match. Seeing the Deoxys speed again was kind of like, oh shit. It's just weird because like you're used to it, and then it gets banned, and then you see it again, and you're like, oh my god. But I'm just like, really? I mean, if this match was a couple months ago, it would have been completely normal. So why should I really care if it was, an honest mistake? So I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. It was a cool match. Nice to not see any weather in OU, which doesn't really usually happen all that much. But all in all, I kind of wanted that Lucario sweep, which I should have gotten. I just, like I said, didn't realize his Rotom was the set he was. And if I had realized, I could have just taken him out. Although even if I had just done a damage calc, like, he could have been, I don't know. It would have been close. Yeah. Whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.